We are back. Episode 102.
102, coming off an episode with our guy Sean Foley and the Big 100 at Moon Golf. So we just want to say, first off, thanks to everyone who's watched or listened this long and been a long-time partner. It's always cool, like when friends and people text me and they say, hey, y'all said this on the pod. And it's like, oh, people do listen. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's always nice to know people are actually engaging.
And I think we're slowly getting better at it. We're kind of getting rhythm. I've been listening to No Laying Up's podcast. I'm like, I want to get to their level, but they're like covering majors and stuff and different nights of the week.
And their own site.
Yeah, that'd be big time. But like, I listened to their PGA Championship preview. But all that to say, thanks to everybody that listens. And this would not be possible without our friends at Moon Golf. We're so thankful and grateful for the team at Moon Golf. They take good care of us. Have our bags looking clean with some nice clubs in it. I just upgraded my putter at Moon Golf, and it was made up some birdie putts, some eagle putts. I didn't get us there for eagle, but my putter got it in the hole. So shout out to Moon Golf.
Matters. Teamwork.
Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work. Thanks to Moon Golf. Tonight we got a guest on. If you're kind of a church person, you'd know who this guy is. But he's getting into golf content. So we're going to talk to him about that, and we're going to jump in with him. This is Logan Cain from Cain the Band. Everybody, tonight we have a guest on the show. This is Logan Cain. You may know him from his career, the band he's in, but we're talking to him tonight about something else. Our guy recently jumped into the golf content world. Loving it. Love seeing it.
Oh, man. Jumped into it, and people may soon be asking me to jump out. So it's a humbling experience. I mean, especially I've been, hustling in the music space for like almost 15 years now. And then when you come back, and it's just a pleasant reminder, man, that the ground is all level at the, when you're at ground zero, boy, there's no cutting corners. But I'm just like thankful for y'all and humble for other creators that have kind of given me a chance to jump in on what I think is my favorite stuff to consume. So I think that's a part of why I'm trying to get involved is I don't watch TV. I watch people play golf on YouTube. And so this is like a huge part of like what I wanted to get connected to, just because I feel like, used to, they would say business happens on the golf course. I think it still does. It just, there's that space that really only creators are getting to. I feel like creators are getting access to stuff that pros don't even get now. And so it's like, I just wanted to come in and try to make some friends and then kind of like you guys are doing. I think when I talk with people about it a lot, a round of golf is like the perfect opportunity to share the gospel. Yeah. It really, really is. Cause it's like you run out of small talk pretty fast. And so you're going to be together for 3.5 to 5.5 hours, depending on where you're playing. You're going to get to know each other. And I said a lot to say a little, but I'm just happy to be in the space. And like I said, humble for people like y'all that have been putting in the work to, let me come into the space and join you.
No, that's our biggest thing is that we know we could grow a lot quicker doing some stuff that other golf guys are doing, but we're trying to purposely be family friendly because I have kids, Zach has kids, and we want them to be able to watch our stuff. So it's a slower growth, but like you said, it gives us an opportunity. I think the coolest moment was we filmed a video against a 14-year-old. The kid was a stud, and his mom came up to us afterwards and was just like, hey, I just want to thank you all for putting out clean content that kids can enjoy and watch. That's what it's about, if anything.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, you guys have such a platform and an opportunity. The first video that I played in for another creator, it's funny, like I played on some stages in front of pretty large crowds. I couldn't wait to watch myself play golf on YouTube. Like, it was such a cool experience. So you guys are creating such a cool experience for people. And, it's funny, my dad's a pastor. And so I have like a ton of little, quippy little like Sunday analogy type of stuff. But my dad was telling me a story about he was doing some work around the house with a guy that was going to church with him. And anyway, long story short, he hit his thumb with a hammer. Like he's trying to drive a nail and he hit his thumb and he like, he winced and he held his breath. And the guy said, Pastor, I believe everything you say on Sunday. but I believe now that you're a Christian, because if you were ever going to say a bad word, it would have been right there. And it's
Yeah.
like, if you were ever going to say a bad word or act
The
up
golf
or get out
course.
of character, it's on the golf course, boy.
Yeah.
It's real.
And so it's like you gotta be on it, and especially if you're gonna walk around, proclaiming something, you guys got it right in your brand. Be still, like
Mhm.
that has some world application, but it catches Christian ears real quick, and so you got to be real mindful about how you're carrying that brand. So good on you guys for, like you said, not taking a shortcut to the top with some silliness, but finding a way to invest in something that people can grow with you. So it's been
Well,
awesome.
yeah, we
How's it been for y'all? Like the growth and the grind, like how long have y'all been at it? I don't even know your whole origin story really.
This is year 3 of us going into it, and so it started off kind of. I was just sitting there. Me and my son would go make a video, and I was like, "Well, I already golf with my buddies. Let me just get them in here, and let's talk about golf every week." And so we did the podcast. Then we started making videos. But the coolest thing is the relationships like it's built to, like getting to talk. Like 2 weeks ago, we had Sean Foley on, who was Tiger Woods' coach
Yeah.
back in 2000. Connections with him, and then like we've had a bunch of like Alabama golfers, Florida, and all these guys like, hey, just come up and play around a golf with us. So those connections are really cool. Getting to go do that.
That's amazing, man. That's really it. Like just
Yeah.
trying to get connected and you like it's so funny as soon as you let somebody know you're a golfer, it's like people
Yeah.
come flying out of the woodwork trying to hang with you, but it's been an amazing opportunity to connect with people and so yeah, like I said, glad to connect with y'all.
Yeah, we sometimes we feel like Jesus in our hometown. Everybody sees us with a camera at the home course, like, y'all are still doing that? I'm like, yeah, we're still doing it. We're trying to, if anything, we're gonna golf anyways. Why not film it and enjoy it? It doesn't
Oh,
matter if
I
we
love it. I love it too, man. I love how I mean I haven't even I'm new to the space, but yeah, like when you used to pull up and people on the course behind you see the cameras like, oh, these guys like acting like you're the reason the round's going slow. It's like, all right,
Oh, yeah, real
please,
quick.
first of all,
Yeah.
let me tell you, we are not slowing anybody down. But now
Yeah.
you can start to see like the course, people understand what it is. Like we got a course up here in Nashville that they're kind of leaning into social media themselves with the Pro Shop Chris guy at Hermitage, and so
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's cool to see the space kind of develop and mold and see that as I talk with brands and different stuff, like understanding like, the common person, me, I'm not going to watch Rory or Scotty swing a club and be like, cool, I need to get that one because I
Mhm.
clearly can swing it like that. But I'm
Yeah.
going to go watch somebody review it who plays like me. And so I think people in this, like companies and courses are starting to understand like, this is going to be the best way to get their name out there as well and draw people like us because pros aren't going to come play your course. It's just a bunch of us coming
Mhm.
out. So you might as well let us come play it and show you what it's like.
Yeah, original warriors.
Yeah.
Right, man.
And I mean, a couple weeks ago, the Myrtle Beach or last week, Myrtle Beach Classic did a good job of that, having like all the YouTube golfers come qualify for it. More people were, involved in that and interested just because, hey, I'm watching some Fat Perez go out there and try to qualify for a tournament, PGA
Mhm.
Tour tournament, which is sick. So, we love
100%. I mean, I am hopeful to get into some pro-ams and some stuff like that just because, like I said, I mean, I'm honest about where my game is, and that's not
Mhm.
really what I'm doing in the space. Um, but yeah, as I connect with more creators and stuff, I'm hopeful. I've got some stuff in the works right now, and we were able to shoot a kind of reality type TV show about my family.
Mhm.
And so I talked with the production crew while that was happening, saying, "Hey, look, this is kind of my hope." And because I'm talking with my record label and people, and just saying, "Look, there are people with a fraction of the following that are doing it for a living. So
Yeah.
people watch this, like people
Mhm.
consume this
Mhm.
content, and how can I like pivot and get into it?" And so it's I'm making a show, and it's going to be golf for people that love golf, and then it's going to be people of interest for people that don't care about golf, and
Yeah.
uh, but I mean, I think the movement, and you guys can probably speak to this better than even me, it feels like the movement has been that grow the game, right?
Mhm.
That's been the whole thing is like, how can we bridge the gap generationally and culturally with diversity and open the doors up? And so we'll see. I mean, I have high hopes for what this thing is that I'm creating, but um, we'll see once it gets going because I got to shoot the pilot first and
Yeah.
then show it to people because until people see what it is, they're a little trepidatious to come and play golf on YouTube kind of thing. So that's kind of where I'm at, but it's been a fun ride.
That'll be sick.
One of the things, if you don't believe in it, nobody else will.
Yeah,
So you got to believe in yourself for it.
That's
first.
good. That's a word, Zach. That's a good word right there.
He's the associate pastor of the church. We give him that credit.
There you go. See, he's putting a word on us right there.
Yeah. Hey, I got some questions I want to ask you as we get into it. First, I do want to say, for myself, I am getting major points tonight from my kids having you on because we're the family. Like we've seen you at Winter Jam and stuff, and my son a while ago you couldn't see him, but he was peeking in the window because the door. He's like, I got to see him. So I'm getting major points.
Come on.
So to get more information, I kind of dug through your Instagram the other day. Like I went all the way to the bottom, way back.
Nice.
So 2 things I noticed. One, I knew you went to Troy because I saw your post the other day, but I saw that you were also on the USA cheer. So this is the closest we've had to an Olympian. You're basically an American athlete. So this is the closest we've had to an American athlete on our pod right here.
Yeah, let me see if I can. I'll see if I can go find my gold medals for you. Real quick.
You got medals for real?
I got a couple of gold medals in here somewhere, buddy.
Oh man, this is.
I won't waste your time with it. Maybe I'll send you a picture after, and you can.
Yeah.
You can show them. I'll see if I can keep up. Yeah, so
take a selfie with them on, and that'll be your clip for the pod.
There we go. Yeah, I'll hang my medals on my neck. Like
he's a real
not the most humble thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean it's funny. My bad. I accidentally swiped out.
No,
it's so funny, man. I don't know if y'all have had this experience, but you ever receive? That's the most backhanded golf compliment you can get. Is like, man, this guy's athletic. Like he'll figure it out. It's like, which means you have a terrible swing, but you have an athletic body, so you'll figure it out. And so I cheered when I was in school, and just like every other person on the planet, I wish I'd played golf instead. But was just really fortunate, man. God really used that in a mighty way. But I cheered, and then through cheerleading, that's Team USA is how I met my wife. Team USA is I ended up coaching. My best student that I ever coached was Stephen Curtis Chapman's youngest daughter, who cheers at the University of Alabama now. She's been on Team USA a couple times herself, and so it's just been cool to see like all the guys used. I mean, you said you're at Winter Jam. People, I'm like a very heavy shooting star. Like when people see me flip, it's very startling for them because I don't look like something that should be flipping over. But yeah, I mean, cheerleading. It just opened up so much of me and my heart and kind of who I am now. And that was a really trying season for me. Like I had no relationship. My music career was not going well. I was really searching for something. And just like the golf community is kind of welcoming me in now, like the cheer community really opened its arms and brought me in because I was the first person at the time. I may still be the only person not affiliated with a major college program to make Team USA. So I was just an adult living in Nashville, training privately, and went and tried out and made the team just as a kind of standalone individual. So it was a really neat experience, and but it probably is why I have such a bad golf swing. So I can only thank it so much.
Last question before we get into the golf. I do want to know.
Yeah, come on.
When I was doing that research, and then we'll get into golf in a minute. But 2 years ago, you turned 30, and you posted that you were dunking. Can you still dunk at 32? That's the big question.
Oh, I'll get you a picture of the gold medals, and I'll see if I can get you a video of me dunking.
Zach's known to snatch some ankles up on the court, so I just had to know if you can still dunk or
not. It's been a while though, but
it's been a while.
It can still be a priority.
There we go. Oh yeah, see, I'm that's all I can do, man. I get rebounds and rim run. That's all I can do. But 32, it might be a few more layups these days than dunks. But
part of the story is like I love hearing how people got into golf. Like Zach, when I met him, which I've known him for a while, him and his brother weren't into golf, and I golfed, so I brought them along, kind of got them itch. But how did you get into golf? Was it something you grew up doing, or? How'd you get started?
Yeah, I mean, so I grew up in a small town in North Alabama. We didn't have much golf around us. And I remember when I was 15, my dad took me to play golf for my birthday. And it was like, because at the time, especially golf, it was like, it was expensive. As us in a middle
Hmm.
class family, like, man, we're really paying all this money to go play golf. And I don't remember at all what I scored. I remember looking in the water in the woods for golf balls a lot on that trip, so I can't imagine I was hitting it well. And I was a left-handed baseball player and a pretty good one growing up, and so I started playing golf right-handed, so the swings wouldn't mess each other up. Because at the time I was like, I'm doing this once a year. I don't want this to mess with my baseball swing at all.
Yeah.
So played when I was 15. I think maybe played a time or two when I was 16. Went to the driving range a couple of times when I was in college. Then really got into cheerleading, and that was where I think the obsessive sort of athletic mindset started to kick in. So when music took off for me, cheerleading had to come to an end because the two things were just I didn't have time for them,
Hmm.
and that was where I was like, man, I need somewhere to put this obsessive nature now. And golf just kind of came along at a time where I used to just would go play on the road by myself on show days. And like a lot of us, you go to YouTube University and you learn all the swing tips you can think of and all the
Rick
drills and
Shields.
Yep.
Rick Shields
Yeah.
and and I remember going from the whatever kind of high hundreds. First time I shot in the 90s, and then there's a really kind of quirky YouTube channel called Golf Sidekick who has like a course management type of thing. Like if you want to break 90, do this. If you want to break 80.
Hmm.
And I remember the first time I broke 90 with just like kind of just some good decisions kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was just hooked forever. I was just like, man, now all I want to do is break 80. And
Hmm.
turns out that is, I think the Bible calls it purgatory, is that area between
Yeah.
between 89 and 79 where all of us live for
Yeah.
eternity.
That's where we are.
And yeah, and unfortunately, I think in order to break 80, you have to like have a coach and get lessons and be disciplined and maybe not have kids. And we would never trade it.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, depending on the course and depending on the day, I can maybe shoot a whatever, 77 or 78. But that's just things are going good. And right now they're not. So,
We're we're really hoping when you come to Opelika,
So listen,
we can get around.
I was gonna say
please.
I just saw it announced today that August 16th y'all are gonna be at First Baptist in Opelika, which is like 20 minutes from us. And I was like, yo, if he's not, I don't know what I know. Obviously, your day's gonna be busy, but if you have a free couple hours that day, I'm off on Fridays. I'm trying to swing the club, Logan.
Oh, brother, listen, please, let's go. It's like now become such a part of like this is the part of the golf world where it's like it just quiets your soul and it's
No.
good for it's like 'cause you're really up until you're maybe around hole 12 or 13. You know how it is with a round of golf. There's still hope.
Oh, yeah,
You hit the range. You got a cup of coffee. You
yeah,
got a hot dog at the turn. Like things are going well until you realize like I cannot break 80 anymore. It is gone. And so now it's all about the
now
hang.
it's just
So
for
maybe
morale.
we'll just start out right there, right there. Yeah, we'll just start out with the hang, and if we shoot good, we'll shoot good. I would be humbled. I would be honored. And that's been a lot of fun too. Is like my drummer. This I guess was part of the story I left out of her, but my drummer and tour manager, he's a stick, and he kind of got me into the game, and he was like, I guess Casey, what you're saying for Zach, where it's like to have somebody who's like walked through it
Oh
and
yeah.
has been through the ups and downs a little bit, can keep you loving the game, even with, in those points where you're wanting to give it up. And
Mm-hmm.
so Aaron
All the
Rainey
clubs and
kind of
throw them
walked
in the
me through it.
water.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Oh, I remember the first time I broke a club on the golf course. And I was like, all right. It was like that moment we were talking about. You kind of hit your thumb with a hammer a little bit, and you're like, you look around like,
Yeah.
y'all. I mean, I used to tell people because I was playing as our career has progressed, we're playing in bigger venues, we're playing in bigger crowds or with bigger artists. So I used to just tell people I travel for work. I'm
Hmm.
so ashamed, but I would like go to the golf course and be like, yeah, I travel for work. In case I acted a fool, I didn't start out saying, yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
Christian music artist and we're playing at
I'm out
first
here
episode. Like,
representing the Lord, but don't
that's
watch
right. Yeah, don't, do as he did, not as I
Yeah.
do. And so yeah, no, as accountability, I kind of first thing I'm like, yeah, we're out and playing with so and so, and that's been a neat experience too. Like you go, and I kind of like playing, getting paired with random people, like I said, because you get to.
Yeah.
I mean, it inevitably gets to a point where you can share the gospel. It's just about if you're gonna like be tactful to that point, and then if you're gonna be bold in the moment. Because I think like a lot of people, and this is true of Christians and non-Christians, you have had an experience with a person of faith, and it
Hmm.
has made your decision on what you think about Christians.
it.
Even if you love them, even if you're a Christ follower yourself, there's like a person in your mind that you like. It's like your used car salesman type of Christian, right? Where you like
Yeah.
have like an aversion. And so like I was in Boston, which was really neat because I'm playing with three guys that I'm assuming a little bit regionally, like maybe Catholic, maybe whatever, like just it's not the Bible Belt.
Hmm.
And over the course of the round, we get into some good conversation, and then another guy, like one of the ranger, pulls up, and the guy's playing with me. He was like, "Hey, I wanted you to meet this guy. I think you guys are on the same team," is how he said it. And the guy comes up, and he's a believer, and we have the kind of neat conversation in front of him. Another two holes go by, and then the guy comes up to me. He's like, he's like, I had my mind kind of made up about you when you told us what you do for work. He's like, I think we actually are more similar than I initially thought. And it
Hmm.
was like, man, that's so cool to me that like I didn't have to go out of my way to say anything. I really just had to like hopefully let my life and my ability to like enjoy somebody's company, right? To just be with somebody,
Yeah.
be the like when he says they'll know you by your love. And I think love for for me a lot of times is just presence. Like it
Hmm.
is just translated as like that, just being there. And so that was really sweet. And then we get to the 18th green, and the other two guys pull up, and they're like, "Hey, is this your band?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, because there's some check marks and some different
Yeah.
things." And they're like, "Oh, we kind of, we thought you just like did it as a hobby." So that's always a fun experience where they'll pull up and kind of, oh,
You got
and
to really be on your P's and Q's then once they realize golf.
yeah,
For me, like you said,
right.
I'm so competitive. People get to me so easy. I'm like, okay, I gotta take a step back before I just ruin everything.
What do you guys like to just play it straight up, or you guys do like some matches and stuff on your channel, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, a
but
little, a little of everything. Because when we play straight up, because now like we all have kids, so there's no practice, there's no
Hmm.
yeah,
regular rounds.
it's like
It's
twice a month for lucky.
twice a month or
Hmm.
once a month sometimes. So if you play straight up, you get so frustrated with yourself after about 3 holes, then it's like the day's ruined.
Yeah,
So we
Right.
scramble a
Yeah. You
lot
scramble a
just for
lot, which is
fun.
yeah.
fun. Scramble's fun, and yeah, I mean something to keep it competitive, and a little match play. And I think that's funny, like because I consume so much content, I'm kind of always trying to think of formats I've never seen before. I've got two
Mhm.
friends that run a channel. They're Charlotte based, and
It's wedgies, right?
Wedges Golf Co. Yeah, they're
We
good guys, and
we met them at the Bryan Bros Invitational, and so met
yeah,
them, and then I like a week later I saw you in a video. I was like, "Yo, how did they know Logan from the band?" So
yeah. So it's really cute. We like, um, I feel like I did an Instagram live maybe or something, and a friend of theirs said that I needed to check them out because I was talking about going to the golf course, and turns out they're just solid guys, good as gold, um, and they are, just like I said, it's like anybody that is in the middle of. I mean, Zach, you said it. You have to believe in it before anybody else cares, and to a point where nobody can take it away from you. And
Hmm.
it's
mhm.
like if you can do that, and so one of the guys was living in LA and was pursuing comedy and acting, and COVID hit, and the other guy's got kids, and he is just like investing his money and really leaning into it. And so to see them begin to find traction and find what it is that they do, it's been really fun, and it's kind of given me that itch a little bit where I'm like, I don't know if the golf space is so much for me to make more content about myself,
Mm-hmm.
or if it is in any way to partner with other creators and try to empower what they're doing through these other channels and platforms that God's kind of blessed us with. So that's been a fun unintended part of this, is getting a chance to kind of leverage some of the band following, some of my own following, and get a chance to they help me. You guys are helping me far more than I'm helping you just by letting me come on your show, but
No,
in
I
some
can't
small
beat
way
if
getting
not
to.
if not more the other way.
Well, I mean, listen, I'll never assume that I have, I can't stand that feeling of like, yeah, let me pop on and help your podcast you've working
It's
on for
next time
3
have
years.
gold medals on when you're talking to us. Just be like,
Right. Oh, right,
oh,
right, right. How did these get here? That's so weird. Um, yeah, but just that feeling of like, you guys have poured your heart and soul into this, and you've opened your doors up for
hmm
me. That's something I said to Jake and to Trey. We made a video when we were in Florida, and they left me alone with the cart cam. So, I'm such a softie. I made a little sort of testimonial, but people that choose to be generous before they have enough to give to themselves, like God is all over that. God
hmm
is ready and willing to bless a cheerful giver, right? Somebody who will break their bread and fish and give it away, even though it
yeah,
was all they had. And so whether it's them or you guys, like, I'm just so like honored to get a chance to meet people like this and partner with you in whatever way possible. So, thanks for letting me tell my story, but I'm impressed with y'all and appreciate what you do.
no, we're
Casey
thankful.
did say in his message a couple weeks ago he wanted to be a millionaire
I,
just so he could give it away.
I said I want to be my goal in my life, my personal goal, and I shared this but I said I want to be the most generous millionaire on earth. Like that's my goal that I'm after. Now I'm nowhere near being a millionaire, but if I can
We're at
be
about
generous where I'm at,
$47 right now.
if
We're
I can
There
be
we
working our way
go.
generous,
up.
if I can be generous where I'm at now, I know that I can be generous when I've got it all. So that's kind of my
100%.
yeah.
100%. And you like God, he said, be faithful over little. If
hmm
he can't trust you to be generous when you've got nothing,
Yeah.
he's not going to give you a bunch, because you'll just dig a hole and put it in the ground
Yeah.
and live on top of it. And he knows that. And so, I mean, that's exciting. And yeah, most generous millionaire ever. Man, listen, me too. Whatever,
Yeah.
I just have, I've gotten, my perspective has changed a lot. And you'll have to, forgive me. Like I said, I'm a pastor's son and a pastor myself in a sort of way, but, so I'll just talk forever. But my perspective has changed a lot. And I've realized that I don't have, the book of Revelation talks about, I think, my generation, but it says that their God is their belly. And I don't have like a bigger, faster, louder mindset
Yeah.
all the time. I just have realized that like even a Christian music industry is going to encourage you to try to find a way to make it a race up the ladder. And if you're
hmm
not mindful about like, what are we doing here? Like, what is the sole intent of what we're doing? Then whether it's golf content or a podcast or playing shows, it so quickly will become a human activity.
Yeah.
And we're begging God to bless something. He's like, I'm not in it. Like, I'm sorry, but you kind of shoved me out of it. Like, how am I supposed to help you?
hmm
Um, so I think that's why, like, I was really excited. I went to the PGA show this year. Did you guys go? Y'all go to
No,
the
We
it's on
wanted
the
PGA
to.
trade
book
show?
for next year for
Yeah.
sure.
Look, you need to put it on the calendar. We'll go. I'm gonna go again in January. It's a nice off season for me.
Yeah.
We'll take your private jet,
And
fly with you, and
yeah,
drive you.
we'll take Pastor's private jet. Uh, but yeah, I mean, me and the Wedgies boys went down, and it was just such a time to see that, like, man, it does feel like, I mean, there's nothing new under the sun, but just my experience in music, I think, has opened my eyes to see that in the golf world, people this whole thing is new even to the companies, and they're waiting for somebody to show them like, hey, this is a good spot to invest.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So that was like, I'm eager to make my show just so when I go back next year, I can go back and be like, look what
Yeah.
I can do with a little partnership. Look what me and my friends can do with a little partnership, and it's been cool to see Jake and them pick up some sponsorships and some partners throughout that. And so yeah, we just need to load up and
Yeah.
put some Be Still hats on and
Let's do it.
go
Hey,
chomp
We're
around. And
ready.
we'll get you some. We'll get you some hats. We're about hopefully going to do a small order here soon, and we'll make sure we get
I
one
love it.
going.
We will for sure play in August. We can shoot something if you want. I'm thankful God has blessed me with a great staff, so I typically am free until showtime, just
Okay.
about. So we can
Yeah.
go play and
There's
we'll
some good.
load you up, man.
I'll put
Hey,
my
Whoever
there.
you want to
camera at
bring
work
out,
tomorrow.
y'all call into work, bring your kids out. We'll blow it out at the show, have a good time,
Yeah.
and we'll play some
Oh,
golf in
we'll
the
be there.
meantime.
Me and my wife's already said we're getting tickets. I said that's fine. I'm gonna be golfing with them that morning, so it don't matter.
That's right. No. Y'all ain't buying nothing. Let me bless you with that. Let me put your
No,
name on the
you
list
ain't
at
gotta do
least.
that, man. We want to
It's
any
the
way we
least
can.
I can do, man.
Well, we listen.
We'll
There's
give
some
you a
nice
couple
courses.
strokes.
Yeah, on the
when
course,
we
we'll
play
let you.
I'll give you a ticket a stroke. How about that? Y'all give me some strokes and then
But no,
we
the Robert Trent Jones courses are down here, and we may can pull some strings and maybe get us on at one of the private Sagahatchee or Moores or something, and whatever. But yeah, we'll get on
that'd be
that
awesome.
day for sure.
That'd be
Hey,
amazing, boys.
let me ask you as we kind of keep going just a little bit. We won't keep you too much longer because I don't want to.
Oh no, I mean, thanks for your time. Seriously.
What's your thoughts right now on the game of golf, like the stigma around it? I'm personally, so me, I'm not a fan of the PGA Superstore when I think of golf. I think of old grumpy white men,
Mm.
and I'm trying to make the game a little more like I want my kids to be like, this is fun, not boring. And you watch PGA, you watch Live, and like I'm more into YouTube golf than I am PGA. So what's your thoughts on the whole game right now?
Man, I mean, yeah, you're asking somebody who I think is clinically addicted to the game, but when I look at the landscape of, you know, golf at the professional level so badly needs more of what the YouTube space is doing. And I don't know if that necessarily means like gimmicks and games and whatever else, but there's something about professional golf that feels more like NASCAR to me for some reason in the way that I was a fan of it growing up, where it's like I'm aware of it. I don't know when the races are. I don't really know where the standings are. I don't know who's
Mhm.
like that to me is like we're in the middle of history. So that happened with Tiger when I was a kid. Scotty's on an unprecedented run, so you start to pay attention.
Yeah.
I think stuff like Full Swing definitely helps, but what I like is I'm starting to see professionals invest in the YouTube space.
Hmm.
I used to think totally different about Bryson. I
That's
had
what I
my
Same.
was
mind
gonna
made
say,
up on who I thought
Bryson.
he was.
And now his
And
YouTube videos, I'm like, he's a cool guy.
I started watching him play and I'm like, man, you know what he is he really is smart and he just ends up being the friend that got too like fixated on the one thing about, hitting the one dimple or whatever. And
Yeah.
I heard a really neat story about his first day, like he was the captain on his live team and he called a meeting and was going to teach them something about putting. And one of the guys on his live team was like, hey man, all due respect, we're all pros. Like we're not doing this. And it was like it just sort of snapped this thing into him. But
Yeah.
I think like I'm seeing Xander, I've seen Ricky a lot in the last year.
Mhm.
I'm sure we watch all the same channels, and it's like starting to see professionals invest in amateurs.
Yeah.
That's the type of stuff that I think you see in other sports versus in professional golf. Those guys have worked their whole lives to get there, and then they're kind of doing whatever they can to keep people out
Mhm.
almost. So, I don't know. There's some stuff that's going to have to happen in the world ranking system. Obviously, we're seeing a whole generation of the top 200 start to fall apart because they're just not getting any points playing with live or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think the ranking system is going to have to get some overhaul in order to keep the most notable players in it. But I would really love to see more of a feeder system in golf. Like I know that there's, PGA Asia and Canada and South America, but it seems like those guys are going to YouTube now anyway because they can
Mhm.
make a better living making content than going out and paying to be on tour.
All
Yeah.
them sponsorships.
And right, exactly. So it's almost like, it's going to have to be. I thought NBC made a big step in partnering with Good on their the thing they did out in the desert
Oh yeah.
classic where they had it on Peacock. Like I
Yeah.
think if wherever TV money is in other sports, where the TV money goes, so
Yeah.
the sport thrives. And so it's probably going to have to be somebody on the TV side, picking up one of these big channels and making space for more like Myrtle Beach Classic and
Mhm.
more kind of creators and amateurs. Because then it's just going to create that new middle ground where it doesn't just have to be amateur or PGA
Yeah.
playing majors. There has to be some middle ground, or else kids are just going to continue. My cousin is a very good high school golfer. I don't know if he's going to choose to play college ball because he's already looking ahead like, well, if I can't be Scotty Scheffler,
Yeah.
maybe I shouldn't waste my time. And I think that's going to hurt the game.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to be some middle ground. But look, I don't know. Maybe that's part of what God's got us in this thing for is to try to meet the
Break
right
it up.
people and make the right connections and it just takes one conversation with somebody who has power and ability. So I mean, I don't know. I'm interested in your perspective. I don't know what you guys think. Like, what do you
I'm
think
with
about the
you.
game right now?
Like I thought it was the coolest thing when Bryson started the YouTube channel and then made videos with Garrett from Good and has like he had Sergio on and Phil on there. And I'm like, oh, we're seeing personalities that you never got to see because you just watch them for an hour on TV coverage. Um, it's the same. Like we were lucky enough to go to the Masters this year because my guy Zach won the lottery, so we got to go. Um, yeah, I know. And a lot
We
of it was
made
just
it.
like not a lot of diversity in Augusta.
Hmm.
And you're like, man, I want to see the game be a little more diverse, a little more like that swagger, like Tony Finau. You know how he brings to it. It's fun, it's family. His wife on TikTok, like I want to see more like that.
Some
Not just like
personality stuff.
not just
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
watch me hit a golf ball.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I think like I met some guys and it's called Vibes Golf.
Hmm.
I met some guys at the PGA show who have started a sort of online country club membership for inner city kids
Oh wow,
where they're starting to, like you said, give guys who are, in my day, that's a lot of what led me to cheerleading was I was like, I'm a pretty good football player, I'm a good baseball player, but I don't know if I'll ever be good enough to go pro. And then cheerleading came along and gave me a way to get a scholarship and kind of continue to play in athletics. And I think there's a lot of kids that would be good golfers
hmm
that feel like it's inaccessible or feel like the ultimate goal is not something they can hit. So why start? And I think if you can combat that sort of learned helplessness with just making it accessible, making, you know, being in contact with your local golf course and say, hey, look, talk to your members. Let's increase dues by X so that we can give this many rounds away
yeah,
per year to, or whatever. Like little things like that, we kind of have not because we ask not. And I think, like you said, when you see people like Tony Finau who reached some of the highest heights, and him and his brother were hitting golf balls up against a mattress in his garage, right? I think
hmm
that's how they started playing. They couldn't even go to the driving range, and so just little stuff like that. Like, um, I'm in communication a little bit. It's really preliminary stages, but there's a thing based out of North Carolina, and it's starting to move around the country where they're making simulators where
hmm
you can hold a kind of countrywide membership, and there are certain locations that you can get into. And I think there's stuff like that that would really help the game
yeah,
a lot if you can make, rain or shine, you can make it accessible and you can make coaching accessible to kids that have promise but might walk away from it. And then, like we said, I think the game as a whole needs one more middle ground because whether it's PGA Canada or Europe or Corn Ferry, like even that stuff, you got to get sponsors. It costs you a fortune to play. Then you got to try to win your status. You
Yeah,
mentioned
a lot.
Wesley Bryan, like you, somebody like Wesley who wins on tour, then has some injury stuff, and then he's fighting to keep his card, and it, it's just it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be
Yeah.
where can you have to fight forever to get it and can lose it so easily because you're just telling a generation of kids like this isn't worth your time,
Yeah, it's not worth
And
it.
right? It's
and
like you'll never succeed, so why start? And that's like the only way we can get around it.
I was gonna say another huge thing would be cost just to
It's wild.
get in the
Golf
door to play. Because I mean,
equipment.
luckily there's pawn shops, but you need balls. And I mean, if you just started today, you don't know what you need.
No.
But every driver on the shelf is $600 to start if you want something
Yeah.
new.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are brands. I think you might begin to see more um, direct to consumer. You see, Tacoma is doing a lot
Hmm.
of what we've been talking about, where they are investing in the creators, and they've been doing it for years, but you're starting to see it more now, where they're like, we're not trying to run off the
Yeah.
pros. We understand that the pros aren't necessarily who's buying this. It's going to be the people that
Hmm.
can't afford to buy, 9 irons for $1,500. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy. And so yeah, I mean, cost effectiveness. I think, um, and also like I love playing 18. I don't
Hmm.
know about y'all, like playing nine. Some people ask me to go, and I'm like you
Same.
said,
I
I
need
got kids.
18
Give me
holes.
the
If I'm getting out,
full
I need
deal.
to know where I'm at. To
Yeah.
be honest, like I'm the type of person that's too competitive. If I play nine and I shot, 40 or better, you
We
think I'm
better
going to go
stick
home
around
and
to the
be
back
like,
nine.
yeah, I'm like, clear my schedule. I'm on
Yeah.
a heater. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to double every hole on the back and blow it, ruin my chances. But I need that chance. Uh, but yeah, so I think, some of the pace of play stuff, like you see this, you asked me about, my mind goes here. Like I'm a big baseball fan as well.
Uh-huh.
And they've done a lot to try to change the game to bring in a new audience, and a lot of what they've done feels like they're just hurting the purest baseball fan, and they're not necessarily picking up a lot of new fans.
Hmm.
So you have to be conscious of that kind of stuff. But I think everybody that is hoping to get into golf would say if it's too expensive and it takes too long, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And so figuring out a way to do those two things, like you said, I, I can't imagine that golf, like a course maintenance, requires every tee time to be as expensive as it is. So there's
Yeah.
definitely some wiggle room there where you could find, and some places do it with the player card and all that, but I think that there's definitely opportunity to bring the cost down. And then secondly, figuring out rules and things that like can speed the game up
Hmm.
for people that are bystanders because I've had to, on show days, I've had to leave at the turn a couple of times. One day I got 3 holes in. I had to go back and get my money back because it was like, I'll never finish this round of golf.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And tell
we've
just
had a
got to
couple
pay.
days like that, and it just ruins it.
Yep.
It's awful, man. Like listen, because of my background, I have a lot of injuries and joint injuries. And once I get warmed up, if I get cold again, forget it. I'm
Yeah.
cooked. My back's tight. My knees are messed up. Like, that sounds like first world problems and complaining, but I think, to be
No,
honest,
Zach,
more
Thirties
so
Zach's
than
do.
even.
almost 40.
Thirties
He's
hit
like that
hard.
too.
But just that, even if we're talking about not just us, but like across the board diversity. Like, I don't think tee times need to be any closer than 10 minutes together,
Agreed.
and even that is tight. But you get out here and you got somebody on the tee, somebody in the fairway, somebody on the green. God forbid there's a drivable par four or a gettable par five. You might as well send everybody home.
Yeah.
And so there's so many courses where it just feels like, and maybe this is, ultimately what we're realizing is the people that profit off of golf may not want the game to be open. They may not want everybody to play it because what they're saying
Right.
is I can sell tee times 5 minutes apart
Hmm.
and I can cater to the wealthy. But I just think that, and we're experiencing this. I'm not even talking as a young person. I'm just saying, like, as I interact with people younger than me, when I see you got kids right now making cuts on the PGA Tour and the Korn Ferry Tour. They're 16 years old. There's
And
talent
back-to-back
that's
weeks.
coming. There's talent that's coming, undeniable talent.
Oh yeah.
And if they will, what these 16-year-olds might find is that if the system's going to be too hard, I'll go make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month off YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you're going to start to see the game get crippled
Yep.
by this. And so it's almost like, yeah, I definitely want, there to be less traffic on the golf course for me. But now as somebody who cares about the game, and I see the opportunity that it does make for young kids, like people in the infrastructure are going to have to start investing in, rather than sitting around, we're just letting history repeat itself. When you watch Tiger Woods give his retirement or his Hall of Fame speech, and he's talking about how he couldn't even get onto courses because of the color of his skin and the assumptions. And he's the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest that ever did it.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody in our generation looks at that and it's like, I can't believe they would do that. Oh my gosh, thank God we're different. And then you look at all the people that own golf courses and stuff right now, and we're just doing it again. So it's going to be on us, people that are out here in the creative space with our finger on the pulse, partnering with people like I said, like Vibes, and people that are connected with the type of people that would be turned away from golf. Because like we're fortunate that we have the ability to potentially get onto even things that are private to us with networking and calls, and even just regular municipal golf is inaccessible to some people. And it's like, who knows who we're turning away. So, I mean, again, said a lot to say a little, but it does feel like if we're going to care this much about it for ourselves, we might as well leave it better than we found it. And
Casey
I just don't want to
pictures
see
of divots. I just want them to
You
be
said
known.
I'm all about course maintenance. Get out of here.
I
Never
cannot
seen him pour
believe
sand.
I'm
you
like
just did
I'm
him
like
like
Tiger.
that.
I'm like Tiger when I'm hitting it good. I don't take
That's right. You don't take divots.
I don't take divots. Hey,
But
let
I'm
me
flushing it.
yeah. Let me. I'm gonna end with this question right here. I'm gonna see what you think. Would you rather perform with any artist ever that you'd ever want to, or play around with Tiger?
Oh my gosh, play around with Tiger
Oh, really?
all day long. Oh, for sure. I mean, because it's funny. It's like when I'm out there doing, making music or whatever, like I'm doing that still as an athlete in my mind. Everything I do flows through that filter. And so, I mean, now what it's become is I was talking with another artist. You said you were on Winter Jam. You said you came to Winter Jam.
Yeah.
And so I was talking with Lecrae, who's a Christian hip hop artist. He was on that. And Lecrae came to me the first weekend. He was like, man, I'm trying to figure out like what your thing is. And then somebody told him that I was a cheerleader. And he's like, that's what you're doing on stage, is you're leading people in that way. So anyway, all that to say, I don't get nervous about shows and stuff. But man, I get nervous on the first tee at some junky course in nowhere, Kansas. There's something about playing that my brain is just coded for that. And so, plus, I try to be real cool if I ever meet somebody and I feel like there's a chance that I could work with them or be peers. And somebody like Tiger, oh my gosh, I'm asking for a picture. I'm asking him all these questions. Like I'm completely losing my cool with Tiger. And so yeah, that's definitely, it'd be cool to, there's a few like artists and people that I'd be cool to collaborate with, but yeah, that's a tough one because it feels like Tiger's just gonna win that every time.
Well, we got to see him in Augusta, and it was like the most unreal thing in the world, seeing him in person hit shots. It was
Man,
so cool.
I can't. I mean, the way that other like people at the height of the game, they still like everything he says is gospel.
Yeah,
Like it's just crazy the amount of respect that he's earned from fans. I mean, you know who else though that I want to play with, and this we probably couldn't have him on the Be Still channel, but I'm a big Homa guy.
Oh yeah. Me
I'm
too.
a
Love
huge Max Homa fan. Like I really want to play with them,
A
and
Yeah.
homosexual is what they call
so
us.
yeah, y'all pray for us. We've come down with it. We're homosexuals, but bro, there's just a couple of those guys that like I said, I can tell are like getting into the space with the creators, and I sneaky like I got to do a thing because of the PGA show. I got to film a video with Under Armour,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I was sending them emails. I was like, listen, like, if Steph's ever like around, I know I'm in Charlotte a lot, and I know that's where he's from, and
Yeah. I can
I'm
dunk.
so like, yeah, I'm like, I could dunk if he needs proof. I can
Yeah.
dunk, and but yeah, it's like there's just a couple of people that it seems like I would much rather play golf with
Yeah.
than perform with, and I mean, I would definitely. I don't know. What about y'all? Other than Tiger, who do you like? Who's your dream
Bryson's
round?
my guy.
Man.
I've been a
Yeah,
Bryson fan
Bryson's on
from
Really?
day
yeah.
one. I feel like I'm super analytical. I love the numbers part of the game. I'm willing to try to buy
Hmm.
strokes. And if Bryson says it, I'm like, okay, that's what I need to do. Outside the one length, I
Yeah.
cannot get behind one length irons. Everything else, though, I'm willing to try.
Can I tell you? After the first round at the Masters, I lengthened all my clubs to the same
Oh, did you?
to try it. Yeah.
How is it though? Do you like it?
If they're the correct, if you do
I
the
liked
weighting
it.
right,
I liked it for everything except when I got down into my pitching wedge and gap wedge stuff. It was a mess because
You
I
had
had
like a 7-iron length, and you're like, this don't
yeah, it
look
was
right.
all cut to that, and I was like, this is a mess. Plus, I'm not like a professional equipment. I can read grip clubs, but I'm like, I got epoxy and I
Yeah.
got 2.5 inches lengthened into this. It was cracking and
Oh man.
slinking all over the place. I was like, all right, well, let me throw this thing out. But yeah, no, I'm like I said, I'm really in on Bryson, and but yeah, I really had to cut myself off because I watch everybody play, but I was taking in so much like coaching and
Mhm.
tutorial stuff.
yep.
And then I'm standing over the ball and I'm like, I can't remember what 15 things I'm supposed to do or not do. And it feels
Yeah.
like they all are in the same spot. And so I'm due to get a lesson, but to be honest, if as long as I'm not like just blasting my driver out of bounds,
Hmm.
I can enjoy the day all day. If the
Yeah.
driver's a mess,
Same. As long as
you
I
might as
keep it
well
in
just
play, I
hang
can
me
have
up.
fun.
Now, was
Well,
that you that just walked in the putt on Instagram? Was that you, Casey? Who was
oh
walking
yeah,
in?
yeah. You
Somebody
know
was.
that's me. When I told my guy, I said I felt good about this putt.
I
See,
got my line. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's the kind of stuff I like right there. When you just able to have a little
yeah.
swagger on the course.
Yeah, a little fun.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
what I
it.
like. Hey, well, we appreciate you coming on. We'll that's all the questions we had, and for sure though, August 16th. If you think you are going to be able to be free for a little while, we'll have to get together for real.
Oh
Play some
man,
golf.
we'll connect after this and get it all written down. I would love
Yeah.
to go. And again, man, just thanks so much for bringing me on and just keep doing the good work, man. Just keep continue. Like I said, sorry. I think like you guys are showing generosity in a way that you're sharing your platform that clearly is precious to you because, like you said, you're not just going to build it at all costs, but you're building
Mhm.
it in the right way with
Yeah.
patience and faithfulness. So that's not wasted on me that you guys would be willing to hit me up and bring me out. And, like I said, I'm such a dork about it. Thanks for letting me talk
Yeah.
your ear off.
No, we
No, thanks
appreciate
for
it.
coming on.
All right. That was it. That was Logan Cain. Appreciate him having him on and in the world of the golf content. Now, as we look forward to this week, big golf
Real
tournament
golf.
going on. Yeah, big golf tournament going on this week. The
Huge update
106th.
first before we make picks.
the
Rory is single.
Yes, okay. We're going to talk about that. The 106 PGA Championship and breaking news as of we're recording this the day of Rory and his wife splitting up. They're done. Wild. Coming off a
He's
win
either
too.
going to be on a tear like Tiger.
Or
They posted when he broke off his engagement in 14.
uh-huh.
1-1-1-1.
Oh,
Second, 1-1, second. So he's either on a tear, he's gonna sizzle because he's heartbroken.
Some of the No Laying Up podcast I listen to, he's still a favorite for a lot of people. The defending champ is Brooks Koepka. Can't let that slip. He's a PGA Championship machine. It seems to be what he lives for.
Multi-major winner.
Yes, can't not acknowledge him that he's going to be in the field. This is, John Rahm, Brooks, Scotty, Rory, all these guys are going to be here competing, which takes us into our picks this week. And Mitchell and Brady aren't here, so we'll say theirs. Mitchell's going Scotty, obviously the favorite. Here's the thing, though.
Is he going to be in? Because, that baby was just born.
Everything I've heard said he's still in it, but did just have a baby. So I don't know how that's going to affect his play heading into the weekend. And Brady has Rory. So even in our group text, half of us were like, he's going to fall apart.
Did he pick Rory pre-divorce?
Yeah, he did. He had him on there like last week, already locked in.
Oh, gotcha.
So
I'm going with one of my favorites, Brooks
Koepka, the defending champ. Why not?
I got him. I already got him picked for top 5 at the other majors for the rest of the year too.
Oh, you got him in there? Yeah, he's just an automatic lock in majors. That's what he competes for.
That's the only thing there is. He's got plenty of money.
That's true. I've got Xander Schauffele coming off of a good week last week. The more I think about my pick, the more depressed I am because I don't think he can compete with the big names. But I've locked it in. I'm not taking it back. Locking it in. So that's this week, the 106 PGA Championship. Notable names. I guess the one I really want to discuss is Michael Block. The block party's in the field after his performance last year.
They posted a stat. He last year when he was scouting the course, shot the course record or tied it at a 63.
Dang, for real?
Yeah. So he's familiar.
I was about to say, after last year, after he won these, playing these tournament stuff, he kind of went on a social media tear with a bunch of like good and YouTube golfers, and
his son released the Be.Still Golf video with him.
Yeah, we filmed with him, but so it'll be interesting to see him compete again. And then in the LPGA this week, the Mizuho America's Open, coming off a great week last week. Roseanne, right? I think was the one dominated. Picks this week, Mitchell. Yeah, they beat She won by 2 strokes, but third place I think was 12 or 16 something strokes behind. Like that's how far behind. It was ridiculous. But Mitchell has her picked this week, and Brady has Charlie Hull.
I got Celine Boutier. She's done good from my pick sheet in the past.
And my pick is strictly because I've got to make up some ground. I had to go Nelly Corder. I know a lot of people are like, of course you'd pick Nelly, but I had to make up some ground.
That's how I felt when Mitch picked Scotty.
Oh, yeah. He's just trying to go for the points.
Yeah.
Which, if y'all been following along, we do the thing called the Pick'ems. That's what this is. And we have points throughout the whole system. And I've got them right here for you. I didn't know that Mitch and Brady were so close. But
Mitch picked up a lot of ground in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, so we got Zach is winning at 215 under par. Brady is in second at 178 under par. Mitch is only 5 behind Brady at 173. And then your boy's bringing up the rear at 131.
Dog.
It's tough out here. I probably had the most cuts out of anybody.
You picked too much with heart instead of head.
I know. I need to start Googling the Vegas favorites instead of just that feeling in my heart. Like, this person's going to do good. If you've learned anything, don't go with any of my picks. If you go on DraftKings, go with Zach's. If that's your thing.
I'm good. I'm doing my thing.
So that's our picks for Pick'ems and what's coming up. Here's what's coming up with BSG in the next few weeks. We filmed a Busted Jack type video, the graduation series.
Before Micah started posting his.
Did he just do one?
Yes, he's in the middle of doing one now. He's got like a 4 or 5 part series where he's doing. I'm like, just started doing that.
I missed that. I didn't see him do that.
Yep. After he shot that 86, he started posting it.
Yeah. Well, we went and filmed. We've got 2 videos done. Filmed. We have to edit them. We can't quite get to 9 under because we're not Busted Jack. So we said, what did we say? 5 under?
5, yeah.
And we started at the front, and we're going to work our way back. And then It's kind of good for us because once we get to the tips and we graduate, we're going to start back over and probably jump to 6 or 7 under and just work our way down to 9 under. So a lot more like 9-hole videos coming out. But man, I didn't know Micah just did one.
Yep, he just started doing it.
Dang.
I saw it the other day. He starts at 5 under from the reds, 4 from the whites.
Jeez. He
I know. I was like, what timing?
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, maybe that's a good thing because it may get sucked up in his like algorithm. They'll see graduation series.
Yeah, he'll see us.
I'm just gonna create our thumbnail to look just like his, and maybe people will click it and be like,
whatever it takes.
Mike. Yeah, I did it.
You can grow your. Oh, I guess he got a haircut. I was gonna say you can grow your hair back out like him.
Yeah, he has that mullet going on right now. So that's what's coming up for the boys, and got the trip coming up in Utah. We're super excited about, and trying to get a match playing with Ann from Moon Golf, Ann Moon.
She's got some injuries because she's a true athlete.
Yeah, she's an athlete, unlike us.
I'm just hanging out, trying not to pull a muscle.
Yeah. I think that's it for the boys on all the stuff coming up. We're gonna keep it short for y'all tonight. Appreciate y'all listening. Appreciate y'all checking it out. We'll be back next week. We have a guest next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Love Lady.
Oh yeah,
Noonan.
Brand Lovely. So probably a lot of technical teaching next week. Then we'll be on the pod.
Yeah. And I'd like to rotate Scott back on there too.
Great. Hey, I had a video idea. Y'all let us know if y'all like to watch this. I wrote it down. But if we get a pro like Scott or somebody, and we see how low can a pro go playing alternate shot with someone at our skill level as their teammate? Like, could they still shoot par, even par, or under par with someone like us as their alternate shot teammate through 9 holes?
I was thinking today for my next lesson with Scott, I need to do like 9 holes.
Just do that. What do you think? What do you think, like someone like us, if me and you played alternate shot through 9 holes, what a score would be for us? Would we break 50?
Yeah. I don't think it would be much different. Not for me and you because we're very similar handicaps.
Uh-huh.
And we can keep it in the 40s usually.
Yeah.
If we did go over 50, it'd only be 51 or 52.
That's what I was thinking. That'd be like the over under, like the number set at 50. Like, could we bring it on? That'd be tough though. Alternate shot like that.
It would hurt.
Yeah. That especially.
Some shots, you'd be like, oh my God.
It'd be hard not to get frustrated with your teammate.
Real quick. We've seen it.
You're like, bro, why would you do that? And you just leave in a bad spot. So we may try to throw some of those videos out. We're trying different stuff, trying to see what works.
What if Mitch was your teammate? He gets the tee box.
Oh, every other hole he would have to get the tee box.
Right? Yeah.
I'd be like, as your teammate, pull your 3-wood or 5-iron out and just hit me something in the fairway.
Well, I guess your guy's not gonna get on.
I guess so. That's it for episode 102. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time.